We get this dog. It has an ear infection within the first week, a double ear infection. You are one of my family. This is makes perfect sense. But I bring him to the vet for like a regular checkup, like the shot situation. And I was asking them for advice because I was like, this dog will not take a treat, like a normal, like, well, healthier version of a dog treat, right? And they're like, oh, really? Like that's so strange. So they like put a liver treat in front of him. He like scoffs at it. And like, this is what I'm dealing with. How am I supposed to train this thing? So he finally, after I can't even tell you how many different ones I've tried. I was walking around the yard. The thing that he liked the most was the like can of like GI friendly wet dog food that the vet gave us. So I was walking around in my backyard with this dog, waiting for it to potty with just like a can of food in my hand and a plastic spoon. And I was like, I'm desperate. I was
And
like, can I give like hot dogs? Like what can I do?
he doesn't like hot dogs?
No. Wouldn't eat a hot dog, wouldn't eat what else did I try? I tried cheese. I tried everything. And all he wants is like wet GI dog food. So they have this dog food also in a kibble form. So she's like, just for fun, we'll try that. We probably have a bag open in the back. She goes out, she brings a bag up, and sure enough, he loves it. Awesome. Great. So
Maybe as he grows up, he will. Or maybe you need to like socialize him with some other dogs who like take treats or something like that.
maybe,
Like,
he just today started taking like the little Zooks like training treats, but he wouldn't take them originally. They're like they're tiny, like a little crumb. And so I didn't think I would have to break them up. He won't take them unless they're broken up.
I bet he'll outgrow it. I bet this is like
I mean, I sure as hell hope so.
adjusting to a new life and family. And
Damn diva.
I mean,
It's crazy.
I don't eat anything.
See, like,
Broccoli,
yes.
spinach.
Bentley used to eat anything. We used to give him carrots for treats because it was like, why give him like something high calorie? Because he doesn't, like, he treats a hot dog the same way he treats lettuce.
Ice cubes. I got one that loves ice
Yeah.
cubes. Yeah. So, well,
Yeah.
he's baby. He'll come around.
He's a baby. This too shall pass.
Great.
Did my
So,
topic make sense last night? Then I text you. Did that make sense to you?
yes. Yep. I think it's good. God, sorry.
I figured you might have already been sleeping when I texted you that.
I was. Did you notice I text you back at like
Laura. 6 a.m. Yeah, something
yeah,
like that.
5:57? We were at the race.
Oh, Flora, you need to play with Bodhi.
We just have to have a play date. She's being awful
Yes.
needy. So needy.
Oh, not you. No.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am. Ma'am.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right, we got it.
We don't. Oh, I just want to like the cute aggression I have for her is insane. I just want to like
She's
put my thumbs like right by her ears.
she's really floofy right now again. She's pretty sheepdoggy.
I started following a vet on Instagram that loves like their little mouth meat. She calls it mouth meat. It's like the little skin that hangs over right here. That I've seen that. I'm like, I just want to like,
She's gonna be
you're so
ridiculous.
cute. You're
You're
so cute.
gonna have to kick you out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's introduce this podcast quick. So, welcome to Enneagram Adventure. This is Tannah and I's podcast where we talk about life and growth and development through the lens of the Enneagram. And today we're going to talk about the prideful part of each number. And I have fallen a little bit down the rabbit hole of a coach, and he's like a big time coach for like executives at like Google and big, why can't I think of the name of them right now? Venture capitalists. Yeah, so he like runs these big or he did in a past life run these big venture capital funds. And anyway, so I've a little bit fallen down the rabbit hole of some of his content, which I think some of that will play a little bit into what we're going to talk about today too, because this idea of like what what is pride for each number is going to play into ego related stuff. So
Yeah.
anyway, so that's the topic we're going to. Did I say we're both IEQ 9 certified coaches? We're both IEQ 9 certified coaches if you're interested in that Enneagram assessment, which, yeah, hit us up if you're interested. What do
Yeah.
yeah.
Normal disclaimer, the Enneagram is a bit more in depth than other personality assessments that you may have taken in your past. So if it's DISC or Myers-Briggs, something like that, the Enneagram goes layers deeper to understand not just what you are doing, but why you are doing it. Not only that, but how other people might experience you, how you might experience others, and what it really means for them to be behaving in the ways that they are. So,
This one should be good. So the pride thing is really, it's a really, I don't want to say it's tricky because I think it will become obvious to people as we go through each number, like what it is that like causes this, but it's also a bit of identity, right? So it's the pride, but then you've attached this thing, and we'll talk through it in more depth here in a second, like to your identity, which then if we like go another layer deeper, like this is where we start to have like these ego things, right? And the ego that's associated with, different things that we're proud of or different ways that we show up or things like that. So do you have a number in mind that you want to start with?
the reason I stumbled upon this was I read a couple of things yesterday and I could not for the life of me, like, it was one of those moments where I was like, if I don't write this down, I'm gonna forget it. So I texted to Holly. So, we are proud of is what we refuse to question, and pride is what we've been praised for. So, I thought of those two things, and like secondarily, a different bit of content I stumbled on was related to the 9. So I kind of want to start with 9.
Cool. Let's start with 9.
Great. The reason I tied these two together so quickly is because my sister is a 9, and I hear her say all of the time, does not matter to me. I don't care. I'm up for whatever. And like I'm also experiencing her in this kind of like she's awakening a little bit to her 9. So there's now times where I just specifically point it out. Like, I know you're easy. Good news, you don't have to be. What would you like? What would you like to do? Or she'll do this thing where last week it happened. I was craving tacos or a burrito or something. My husband had to work late. So I was like, oh, maybe she wants to come over with my niece and we can just order takeout. So I called her and I said, hey, I'm craving, this restaurant in town. Do you guys want to come over? She's like, well, Charlie has tutoring at 6:30, but yeah, that sounds good. Let me know. And I was like, well, if she has tutoring at 6:30, you work until at least 5. Like, this isn't making sense. It's so stupid. Like, it's a silly example. But I get off the phone with her and I text her right away. I was like, if Charlie has tutoring at 6, like, you really don't have time for this, and it's fine. It was just a suggestion. Like, I'm not.
She's like, I'm going to squeeze it in.
Yes, she was totally going to squeeze it in.
I mean, I think there's a couple things there. One is did she genuinely want to? And like, of course, like you guys, like, no big deal. Like, we live close enough, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Or was there like this element of like, I don't want to let you down. You suggested it. I'm going to show up because you suggested it. Right. Kind of thing.
And she knew my husband was working late. So I think she was like, oh, maybe she needs, an extra set of hands
Yeah.
since there's a puppy in this house. But it was so dumb. So I was kind of chaining a few things together and I was like, God, just like if you don't have time, you don't have time. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that nines and even nines as adults are praised for how easygoing and accepting and laid back they are. I mean, we talk about that all the time, right? Of they see all sides, they're so kind, they get along with everyone, and sometimes they genuinely are down for anything. I think,
Yeah.
and that's like beautiful and wonderful and all of those things. But I think where for me, like this idea of pride in it though is like, to your point, right? They've attached, I'm the easy one. I don't cause any problems. I get along with everyone. And that becomes such a part of their identity that they like, then they can't express themselves, right? So then because I'm always the easy one, I am now not allowed to have an opinion. Right. So,
Right.
yeah.
Right. And to the point of what you've been praised for, you don't question.
Right. So when
Then
you've
they're not
been,
questioning like why I do that.
right. I think the questioning part is like one of the first steps of some of the why, right? I think, and we've talked about, people who use the Enneagram as an excuse and blah, blah, blah. And that's not where I'm trying to go with this, but it's of that idea of like people who get their Enneagram results back and are really agree with them, right? Like this totally gets me. Sometimes that they can then attach that number to their identity. It's all the same idea, right? And then they just don't question it. This thing just validated all of these things about me. Therefore, I have even less reason to question. And the goal is that you do question. The goal is that now you see all of these things and now you do question them. So, do you really have opinions? Do you really have wants, needs, desires? Do you really want to go do the thing that you say that you want to go do? And it's okay for you to change your mind. It's okay to say no. It's okay to want something else. But you're going to have to separate from, I get along with everyone and that part of your identity. What if you didn't? And it's funny, like we talk, like Aaron gets along with a lot of different people, a lot of nines that I know get along with a lot of different people. But I do know nines that don't. But their answer to that isn't to engage in healthy conflict. Their answer is to then disappear so they can keep telling their story they need to tell themselves.
You and I know a nine like that will disappear and quite literally hide, like
Yes.
just to tell that same story. I'm mind blown by that.
Well, I guess let's do 8 next in terms of the pride or the things that they believe, right? And the pride for them is around being strong, right? I'm the strong one. And to your point earlier, right? They've likely been told that they're the strong one at some point. Although I think sometimes the motivation isn't born from the place of like, I'm being told I need to be strong. It's that the environment around me is requiring me to be strong. But either way, that becomes what you're proud of. I don't ever cry. I do hard things. I say what's on my mind.
Yeah. It's the I'm proud that I'm strong and in control. So I think about so my husband is an aide and a first responder, and I so often hear people say, "Oh my God, I don't know how you do it. Like, you're built different, right?" And every time somebody says that, I want to be like, just tell them it's okay to cry.
Here's the thing about it is like we say things like that, and I'm like the more development work that I do on myself, the more I start to believe that this idea of like you're just wired that way is like not real. Right? Or you're just built like that, or you're built different. Like, no, no, I don't think so. I think there are sets of circumstances that steer people in certain directions, but that push comes to shove, any human being is capable of doing what any other human being is capable of doing. Now, like talent aside, right? Like I don't like you have like very talented singers, athletes, things like that. But every human being is capable of doing those things. Maybe not to that extreme level, but capable of also singing, capable of also playing a sport, right? So like I don't want people to want to like split hairs over, well, I could never run like Usain Bolt. Maybe not, but you can run, right? Like,
It's just easier for some than others.
yeah.
It
So,
comes more naturally to some than others, not ability aside.
right. But I mean, I think, you think about it and like there are people are all capable of great things and terrible things. All people. So sometimes I think we like it's sort of like when we talked about our parents or like when you're a child and they're like, "Oh, you're an old soul." It's sort of like that kind of language again. Like, "Oh, I could never. Oh, you're built different." Like, well,
It's meant to be a compliment, right? Like
yeah.
it's meant to be a compliment. I believe wholeheartedly in what you said. And there are certain conditions that then change how you operate because I've seen it firsthand with him on the job. He's been in that job for 13 years now. And who he was at the beginning of that job is very different than who he is now. And he has experienced two school shootings, countless fatal incidents, standoff situations, situations where children were harmed, and that changes you in his case, and his quote unquote natural 8
Yeah.
has been rewarded
Yes.
through all of this. So the hardest part for him will be to try and channel some vulnerability because he continues to be rewarded for that.
Right.
And
The
his
whole
brain requires him to be a certain way to be able to make it through some of these things.
yeah, you don't do a job like that and not develop coping mechanisms for that.
Right.
I think the part of it becomes the willingness to like look at it though and question it. And I think that's where most people are like, I've been rewarded for this, to your point, therefore I don't question it. But also that feels good, right? Like it feels good to be recognized in that way. It feels good for somebody to tell me that I'm special. It feels good for some, right? And so then because of that, we don't turn it over and look at it differently. And
Tied to your comment, the interesting thing is it is also based on your number what comes natural to you. Therefore, it might be easiest.
Right. Well, it's the pattern. I heard this thing today that was growing up is the art of throwing away what works. And that could feel very counterintuitive, but it is the questioning, right? It is I've always done this thing since I was a little kid and I was rewarded for it. And I have now developed this pattern that's well worn and simple and easy, and it just happens. And therefore, I just keep doing it, right? It's that well worn groove.
Yeah, and that's the hardest question to prompt yourself with. But it has to come from you.
Yeah.
If you're not willing it's not worth.
No.
I mean, you have to be willing to look at that question on your own. And that is very difficult to do.
So on that note, let's talk about sevens. Because when we talk about like that hard question, I think sevens are proud of being the fun one, the spontaneous one, the literally down for anything one, the, never saw a party that didn't turn out to be amazing kind of people, right? Everything's fun and exciting. And if it's not, they're really not too interested.
Yeah. You're just so positive. Like
Yeah.
I can hear that
Yes.
for a 7. The praise is you're so happy.
Yes. You're just so happy all the time. And we do get used to them being that way, that when a 7 comes out and they are not happy, you're like, oh,
You're
what's
like,
wrong?
whoa.
Yeah. There are certain numbers that when they kind of have a departure from what's typical for them, it feels very, 7's one of them that if people are close to them, can be a little bit shocked by it. But again, it is the questioning, like, why? It's a little bit you're the easy one. If you're the fun one, you're probably also easy, and you make people around you like really comfortable.
Well, heaven forbid we have any discomfort around 7,
Yeah.
They will reframe to make us feel better.
Sometimes
So
it's just let it be uncomfortable.
yeah, sometimes you just got to sit in the awkward, which is very, very difficult to do. I have also heard 7s praised for you just move so quickly. You think so fast. I've heard many 7s kind of enter project related work that way of, oh, I'm super excited about this. How can we get started? What can we do? Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, holy shit. Are we sure that that is actually the problem we're trying to solve, or are you just moving that fast?
Well, it must be the problem that we need to solve, right? Because they thought of it first.
And they've already thought of 5 ideas to make it better.
Yes.
6?
6. My instinct on 6s is that they have been praised for their preparedness, right? Like, it has worked out in their favor to be the friend who always has all the things. People keep them around because they always have all of the things. And as little kids, my guess is that they were, unless you were a counterphobic 6, unless you are a counterphobic 6, likely there was probably some praise and recognition around the careful and cautiousness. Like, I never had to worry about you. I always knew that you were going to be okay.
Yes. The 6 that I'm closest with, that was always what she was praised for. I never have to worry about you. I know you're fine. I know you're going to be fine.
Sometimes they
So
might actually like it for someone to be worried about them a little bit.
because they worry about everyone all the time.
Yep. And they always have everything for everyone. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Your point of having all the things, you're so prepared, and how much time and energy they spend trying to think of all of the scenarios that they will need something for. Crazy. I'm a thinks like a six, and my freaking Yeti Camino bag to go to the park is exhausting.
Yeah, I don't. There have been times in my life where I have felt the need to be hyper prepared. I don't feel that way anymore. Yeah. But I think about that, right? There's so many things where I was like, well, if the worst happens, like I'm SOL. I don't know. Yeah.
I did it without even noticing I did it this weekend. We had T-ball, and we had to bring a friend's child with us who's also on the team because they had to go a different direction for their kid, for their other kid. Normally, I would have packed snacks, band-aids, sunscreen, extra water, activities for the other child that is not playing, like all of the things, a spare outfit and another spare outfit for this other child just in case. And I didn't bring a single thing.
Is it fine?
It was fine. But I had this moment in the car on the way there where I was like, okay, this is good. We're fine. This is going to be fine. It's only 50 minutes. What's going to happen in 50 minutes? In the town we live, if there's something that catastrophic, I go get what I need and I'm there in 5 minutes. It
How
took
did you
negotiation.
with yourself?
Yes. But it was liberating after I got home and I didn't have to unpack a bunch of shit that I didn't need. It's great. And the other thing I told myself is my kids are going to have to learn, like, yeah, no, sorry, I don't have it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And most of the time, if you don't have it, if there was something, let's say you needed a Band-Aid, I'll bet there was another mom at that T-ball game who had Band-Aids. Or the
Correct. And
coach.
I'm pretty sure there's a first aid kit in every single one of those little lock boxes at a Ball Diamond.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. Are they Toy Story? No.
All right. 5. I was trying to think about the prideful piece for 5, and I do think 5s are praised for being smart, although I never felt smart, right? So it's like you recognize it, but I don't know that I ever felt that way. I do think the I never have to worry about you compliment can also apply to 5s. It's just through a slightly different lens, but it's the sort of nod to the independence. The 5s are seeking that independence.
Yep.
And it's a bit of the nod to that. But I was thinking about it a little bit in terms of like the ego side of it too as well. And I in Joe Hudson's work, one of the things I was listening to, he was talking about, well, how do you know you have a problem? And that his sort of in his coaching work, he does this thing. He's like, well, prove it. Prove to me you have a problem. Prove it. Because most people are like spinning up these stories and things in their heads that aren't actual problems. But as he was going through that, he was talking about how the who like if you were to be your true self, I'm going to butcher this because like I will not be nearly as articulate, but if you were to be like your true self, like who would you be? And it was around this idea of this advice that we give people of like just be yourself. And the person he was talking to, the example was like, well, if I was just myself, I would be shy. I would have a small friend group. I would be this. I would be like, right. And like lists all these things. And as the person was listing all those things, I was like, oh, those are all like things a 5 would say, right? Myself as a true 5 is quiet. Myself as a true 5 reads a lot. Myself as a true 5 is like seeking knowledge all of the time. Myself as a true 5, right? Like you could like list off like but that's not actually true self. This is like a list of things that got me rewarded and taken care of as a child. That's not true self. And there isn't the best way to like articulate that true self, but that list of things is the things that fives would say they're proud of and have attached their identity to. And I'm like working every day to like separate my identity from those things that I do, right? But that's,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. That is the deep work.
yeah.
I'm curious, was something that you were praised for not necessarily you're so smart, but you just know so many things? Like, was that something that you were praised for?
Yeah. It was almost like the memory. It was like the ability to like regurgitate random facts or know a bunch of random things. And not
Okay.
like trivia sort of things, but
Yeah.
um and especially if it was something I was interested in. I just like
Sure.
knew all the things about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that for me, some of it as a child, yes, but also I would say in my 20s, I think I noticed more of that praise of like, oh, well, you just like know all these things. Like in the horse, like, right, like I knew like all the top show horses in the country and who owned them and who was showing them and da 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 da, and like random. So we'd go to these events and like I could give you the whole history of, Zippo's Mr. Goodbar or whatever horse like you wanna, right? So yeah, that's when I remember noticing the praise for that. As a kid, it was more about being so quiet, right? Like I didn't ever interrupt or like disturb. I was a polite, controlled child.
That makes sense.
Four?
For you are so unique.
Yeah. I can't believe you made that thing. XYZ thing.
So creative.
Yeah.
You're so brave sometimes for like kind of marching to the beat of your own drum. There's a couple of fours that I've heard like, wow, you're so brave. They most oftentimes will flip it and be like, oh no, I just don't care what other people think sometimes.
Yeah.
But
It's the vibe, which is still ego, by the way.
yes, yes. You're so quirky. I've
Hmm.
heard fours described that way too.
And I think over time, it becomes a compliment. They like interpret it as praise, like over time. I think as
Yeah.
you and I were in an Enneagram session with a four where she was telling a really sad story about how she was treated in school.
Mhm.
And it was a super hurtful situation. And in her own brain, as she was coming out of it, it became, well, I don't want to be like you. Well, I want to be different. I'm happy being different. And it's that kind of flip, I think, also becomes like the defense mechanism for the quirkiness, right? So even if it's a compliment
Yeah.
that like a double like a backhanded compliment, right?
Mhm.
They spin that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was one of the first things I said to you after we left that session. I was like, that might have been how it was flipped, but in the moment, I bet that hurt really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. And there are probably well-meaning adults who said who said something like that to her also, right? Well, you don't want to be like them anyway. Well, that you're special, you're different, you're unique.
Yep. So I've said on here that I'm convinced my niece is going to be a four. She's 8. And I've heard family say, and in different settings, like, oh, she's just Charlie. She's just so Charlie. And it's through this context of like, she's just unique. She's super special. And she loves that. Like if you hear or see her reaction to that, she loves that.
Yeah. And there is like I get it. Like I get where that becomes like a point of pride and it becomes a point of your identity to be like different and unique.
And there's all kinds of things that are working in favor of that, right? When, particularly in my niece's case, she's an only child. Her parents had to try a very, 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 very long time to have children. She is just a little bit like a little adult. She's the only girl grandchild. Like there's just a lot of other things that like work in favor of that like unique flower.
Yes. Well, it's being reinforced for her and her
Yeah.
yeah, in every aspect of her life. Yeah.
Yes.
When is her birthday?
February.
February.
February 8th.
It's like she just launched herself onto the side of this chair. All right, if you don't watch this on YouTube, this is a plug for you to watch this on YouTube because Flora is standing on the back of my chair. She is being kind of
Her
cute.
tail looks like a little pom-pom. She's like,
Yeah. She loves to be on the backs of furniture.
I love it.
And she runs this house, so we allow it.
But she does it in the sweetest way, you know?
Yeah, yes. Yeah, she's not destructive or anything. Okay, 4, 3.
3, you're so competitive. Kind of that
Yeah.
winner.
Yes, it's the winner thing.
Like,
It's the being
yes.
celebrated for winning.
You are a winner.
You are a winner. Look at you. You tried so hard and it paid off for you. You're winning. Or you look so good. That looked so good.
Yeah. I am convinced I am raising a 3. I am convinced my oldest, who is about to turn 8 in August, is 3. And he also has a few things working against him, right? Like he's the older brother. He has a younger brother, and younger brother has very natural athletic ability.
But of course.
And my oldest has to try harder. And my oldest also very likely has ADHD. And therefore, he has to try harder at most things, with the exception of like, he has like kind of this engineering mind. Like, he can put together Legos like perfectly symmetrically and like make something out of little puzzle pieces that he just like thinks of in his head. Super great at math. Like that is his area of specialty, but he also has some confidence stuff. So I hear us using like, wow, you tried so hard. We're so proud of you for trying so hard, because OT tells us to praise the effort rather than the result.
Maybe you won't be a 3 then.
Maybe not, but you know what? I was playing memory with those little turds earlier today, and he almost gave up his cards because he was losing.
Ooh, not a good sign. That sounds like 3.
He was like, "Here, Keston, you can have mine." I was like, "Oh no, 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 no! You're gonna learn how to lose." And then last week, he, slid. He's playing kickball at school, and their baseball field is under construction, so they were playing on concrete. He was about to get tagged, so he slid, forgetting that he was not on gravel, but also like, whoa, we're not getting tagged. That's not happening.
It'll be interesting to see that play out because I think that will probably become, as he gets a little older, some of that will start to be very clear in a 3.
Yes. Yes. For sure.
Yeah. And some of it will
For sure.
be, I mean, I think that for the 3, the questioning is you've attached your value to these things that you've achieved or the winning that you've done, how well you play sports, how the car you drive, the house you have, the whatever it might be. And you've attached your worth and value to that. And that's where the questioning comes in. Like, I don't have any I think it's fine to be competitive. I think it's fine to want the best out of yourself. In a in There's the unhealthy competitive side though, right? There's the yeah.
It can be like insatiable or obsessive, or it can enter into parts of your life that competition really shouldn't matter. So
Yeah.
that is the watch out there. But the pride is deep in the winning and what you have and what you look like.
Yes. And the ego related to that. All right, 2.
Ooh, you're so helpful. You just care so much about everyone else. It's mostly those two things for me, anyway. And that like little hit of dopamine comes even when you're doing something small. Like I took, like I said, my friend's kid to T-ball because they couldn't. And she was like, "Oh my God, you're the best. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you." And I'm like, "Yep, yep. You're so freaking welcome. I am helpful."
Scene
So,
two's like worry about people too, and there's sort of like like a a pride in the worrying about.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. Like I am worried about you. Therefore, you should appreciate me
Yeah.
being worried about you.
Yes.
Where sometimes, like, my radar might be on, it might be off, but if it is on, like, not everybody wants me to be like, "I'm worried about you."
No, because some people are like, what the F for? What do you
Oh,
mean you're
listen,
worried about
my
me?
my 8 husband will come home grouchy. I'll be like, "What's wrong? I'm worried about you." He's like, "Why?"
Nothing to worry
So
about
funny.
here.
I do have a slightly funny, mostly on topic story, quick story about that. In college, I was at my friend's house for dinner with her family, and they are very religious. And so we were all sitting down at dinner. It was me and like, I think it was 3 of us friends that were home from school. And we're sitting at the table before we're going to go out downtown Madison. So we're eating dinner. They're like, "Okay, everybody pray." And my friend's mom puts her head down and she goes, "Lord, we lift up Joanna." This is my friend. And she lifts her head up and she goes, "Why?" It's like one of my favorite stories with that friend group because it's so her to just be like, "For the love of God, like, stop." Like in the middle of prayer. So to that point about worrying about people, not always my job, but it is a badge of pride, honor that I have. And I'm getting better recognizing it. Am I doing as great as I should changing it? Present day, no. I think I did it to you even like last week. It's like, "Are you okay? What's wrong?"
Tired.
You're like, "I just rode my bike for 200 miles in 5 thunderstorms.
So tired.
I'm just tired."
Yeah.
God.
I mean, it's not sometimes, yes, people are like, why, whatever. I try to take it as like like a compliment and a sign of caring. I think the interesting thing though is the when the two kind of makes that sort of thing their whole personality. When they're
Oh,
so proud
yeah.
of it, right? It's like they
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not just even when you're so proud of it, but it's also like you're proud of your ability to have the sixth sense about the other person
Yeah.
being down. Like you're
Yeah.
proud of being able to like identify that. And there was another piece I was gonna add in about that too. And now it escaped me. Oh, it's like the part of your identity because then if you notice that someone is not doing well, you immediately associate it with yourself and you're like, "Are you mad at me? Tell me now or I'll throw up. Tell me now or I'm barfing everywhere."
Yes. The two kind of anxiety about relationship. And this is a bit of a rabbit hole, but Maggie, who's been on the podcast, is a two, and she and I did this giant stupid bike race last weekend. If you want a full recap of that, you can listen to a different podcast where we unpack all of those details.
I was
But
gonna say, did you guys record that yet?
we did. We did. It'll be
Okay.
out next Friday.
Okay.
But she made mention in her recap that one of the things that brings her joy when she's like out racing is sort of like befriending people like on the course. And she talked about how that's normally like a thing that she loves and that she felt like during this race that didn't really happen. And I was like, well, yeah, because I think most people were surviving, right?
Right.
Like there was so much other stuff to worry about. They were surviving. And so it wasn't a whole lot of like chatting and getting to know people situation. But when she was telling that part of the story, I was like, this might be the most two thing I've ever heard you say. Is that like the joy that you feel on the race course by like connecting with other people.
Funny.
Yes. I was like, but of course the two is tying her joy to the
That was
relationships
my
around
favorite
her.
thing about my first half.
My first half marathon, I ran alone. I didn't have, I mean, there were people around me, but not like my people, not people I knew or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're down to ones.
Tons. You're just so perfect. You can see whenever something is a mistake. Like you can quickly identify a mistake and fix it.
Yep. You did that so well.
Yeah.
You got straight A's again.
Yeah.
I also think that ones, so like fives and sixes, ones also get the I never have to worry about you phrase.
Mhm.
I know you will take care of it. I know you are a good kid. I don't ever have
Mhm.
to worry about you getting in trouble.
Yeah, I don't ever have to worry about you. And sometimes what I notice about other people as they look at ones is they almost can sometimes perceive their ability to identify mistakes as anxiety. And sometimes it's like, oh my gosh, you put so much pressure on yourself to be perfect.
Yeah.
So not completely dissimilar to the eight of like, oh my God, you're built different.
Right.
Like, oh, you put so much pressure on yourself. Don't reinforce that.
Yeah. Don't praise that. I think we do, and we do reward the kind of one thing for their attention to detail and their ability to
Mhm.
spot things that other people miss. Yeah, we definitely reward that.
Yes. Also, you're so humble. I've heard that mentioned about ones too.
Yeah. Humility would be an interesting podcast topic in the
Yeah.
future. I think it goes along with this too, because I think there are
Mhm.
multiple numbers that talk about like it's the same idea, but I think there can be a false humility that comes through, that runs kind of under the surface on some of the things. Right? And then that's
And
yeah. And that has for the one that I'm so humble has to do with, well, it would be not good to be a braggart or to be a whatever, right? Like that, then I wouldn't be seen as good.
they made it through.
We made it through all the numbers. This was a good one. There was a lot. We had like a couple of deep moments. The dogs made an appearance.
A new one will at some point.
We have to do a play date.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do. Get him to burn some of that energy off. I
Yeah.
held in my pee last night at 3 a.m. because I was like, if I get up to pee, it's over. He'll try to get up for the day, and I can't.
That's the worst. Then
So
did
I
you?
didn't sleep. Like,
I
I
was gonna
slept like
say,
shit.
I was like, then you didn't sleep. Yeah.
I slept so bad. 'Cause I was like, I was trying to talk myself down. I was like, you don't have to pee. No, you don't. You don't.
It's all in your head. It's all in your head.
It's all in your head. It's all in your head.
And then the more you try to convince yourself, the worse it gets.
Oh, yeah. I was like, just go back to sleep. Just shut. Just go back to sleep. But I knew that's the danger hour for him because if it's anywhere from 3 to 5, there's that opportunity where he could be like, oh, you're up. Okay, great. Let's go potty. And I want to
Yeah.
play.
Like, great. I'm just gonna put you right back in the kennel.
Yeah. Like,
This one
no,
slept a
you're
lot.
laying down.
Yeah, this one slept in the kennel a lot.
Like, you are going to lay down. And I am not the one. at 3 a.m. Not the one.
He will get over that
Luckily,
quickly, though.
Yes. Luckily, it's been very nice weather, though. So I will take potty training a puppy in like 80 degrees and sunny.
Yes.
The only problem is we're out there so often that I'm like, he really doesn't get the concept
They're
in
coming
and out
back.
because this was fine.
So good. All right. Well, if you
Okay.
have made it to the end, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. Go follow us on all the socials, on the TikTok, on the YouTube, on Instagram. We have a Substack, so if you like to read versions of the podcast rather than listen, although if you've listened to the end, you probably like listening to podcasts. But if you like the blog version, or maybe you would want to share the blog version, that is available on Substack. We have a few other ideas we're spinning up internally here at Enneagram Adventure. Hopefully, we'll start announcing some of those ideas soon. But yeah.
Can't wait.
So cool.
Okay. Bye, Holly.
Talk to you later, Tannah.